And our Nancy Cordes is in Washington with all the latest here. Nancy, again, these new polls out over the weekend show Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton again neck and neck nationally, particularly in battleground states such as Ohio and Florida. Where did her lead go?
It went a couple of places, Josh. Good morning. Well, first of all, Donald Trump has now locked up his party's nomination, and voters see that party leaders are now starting gingerly to coalesce around him. So that's a change, and you see that coalescing in the polls. Hillary Clinton, on the other hand, still has a challenger on her side, Bernie Sanders, and some of those Bernie Sanders voters say that they would go to Donald Trump. And so that's why you see Donald Trump starting to solidify his base of support. He's now about neck and neck with Hillary Clinton in polls that she was leading against him just a month ago by 9 or 11 points.
And we saw something of a change over the weekend with Bernie Sanders. He's now moved Donald Trump and attacks on Trump up in his stump speech. He begins the speech now speaking of Donald Trump, and he points out that all these same polls show that he does far better in a potential general election matchup than does Clinton. But Clinton has already argued that the only reason that is because Bernie Sanders has not been subjected to the Republican attacks that she has thus far. What to make of that argument?
Well, she is right that, when there were 17 Republican candidates all vying to be the Republican nominee, one of the ways that they showed that they were tough was by going after Hillary Clinton. Very rarely did they go after Bernie Sanders. And Clinton herself, while you could never say that she has not been tough on Bernie Sanders, she has certainly in the beginning of her campaign. She hasn't run negative ads against him by and large. It's not fair to say there haven't been any, but there certainly haven't been a lot. The reason that you hear Bernie Sanders going after Trump on the stump is twofold. First of all, he's trying to make the case that he would be tougher against Donald Trump than Clinton would. He says that that's what the polls show, that he would do better, and so he's, trying to make that case on the stump. The other reason, though, is to send a signal to Democratic voters and to Hillary Clinton supporters that, yes, at the end of the day, if, as all of the numbers show, Hillary Clinton will be the nominee, that he will be an attack dog on her behalf, or more importantly, on the party's behalf. He's trying to show that, yes, at the end of the day, the ultimate goal for Democrats, of which he is one, is defeating Donald Trump.
A party whose leadership he has made some sort of war on in these last few days. Also, more numbers for you to parse here. CBS News battleground tracking suggesting that while Donald Trump is more likely to tell it like it is to a degree, that these same folks who have been polled also find him to have more extremist views, and that they believe that Hillary Clinton is more prepared to govern. How do you see these numbers now, if nothing else, framing what still remains a likely general election matchup?
Well, this is going to be a key line of attack from the Clinton campaign, and she said it again in interviews on Sunday, that she is going to try to make sure that Donald Trump doesn't normalize himself. And what she meant by that was that over time that he will try to make it seem as if a lot of his views are mainstream, that they're not extreme, as many of these voters said that he sometimes is in our battleground tracker. And she is going to continue to point out, her campaign will point out, her husband will point out, that some of his views and some of his behaviors aren't normal. Things like acting as your own PR agent, for example, and claiming that you're someone else. Sort of antics like that, they're not going to allow that kind of thing to move into the background. They're going to continue to bring it up.
Nancy Cordes in Washington, we appreciate the time.
You're welcome.